So, I got 86 from the pub last night, and it's the pub that I typically go to. In fact, it's the only one in town, in this part of town. It was kind of fucking silly because we had a little party up here at the winery, and then I walked down to the pub with a couple friends, and one of the guys had a dog. Well, the dog has been inside the pub, and there's always dogs inside the pub. It's just one of those types of pubs. Well, the dog's a little shy. He doesn't like strangers. It's not aggressive like it'll attack you, but I wouldn't advise you to pet it. And when we bring the dog in, some drunk girl runs up and is like, "Oh, dog!" You know, and starts trying to pet it, and the dog like hides behind us and tries to hide behind a bar stool, and the girl's still trying to pet it. I told her, I said, "Look, the dog doesn't like strangers. I wouldn't pet it if I were you. It might bite you." She's like, "Oh, no, I got 5 dogs at home. I know how to do this." And she tries to pet the dog, and then she grabbed the dog by the collar and tried to pull it out from its, behind the bar stool. And the drunk girl got bit. She did walk away and say, "Oh, that was my fault. I should have listened," or something like to that effect. But we had to leave. And that's cool. Dog bites somebody, gotta get the dog out of there. Well, the guy whose dog it was, he called the pub, and I didn't hear in fact at all what he said, but apparently he pissed the bartender off. Well, I went back there, walked back there, and tried to talk to the bartender, and she's like, "You have a lot of nerve coming back in here after insulting me on the phone and talking shit." Like, "What are you talking about? I didn't call you." She's like, "The person who called said it was you, Zach." I said, "No, I didn't call you. I came in here actually to check on the girl's hand and to have a beer." And then another bartender runs around like she's being kind of irate with me. She's not really letting me talk. I tried to explain to her that I told the girl who got bit that the dog would bite you or might bite you if you touch it. I tried to explain all this shit, and she won't let me. She just keeps running me over. Eventually, another bartender comes around and goes, "Zach, you gotta leave, man. You're pissing off Nikki, who's the bitchy bartender." So I said, "Fine, I'll go." So I leave, and then I come back. I fixed the internet.
You got your signal?
Yep. And so I come back later that night. Figured, she'd be time to cool off. And I asked the doorman, who I'm like, he's the coolest guy who works there. I told him what happened. I said, "Hey, you tell her, I'm just here for a beer. There's no fucking dog. I'm by myself." And he walked in there, and he comes back out, and is like, "Oh, well, sorry, Zach. They're still pretty upset, man. You're 86th." I said, "I'm 86th? It wasn't my fucking dog, for one. I told the girl if she pet the dog, it might bite you. That's all I did. That's all I'm guilty of, is warning the girl that the dog would bite." He goes, "I don't know what to tell you, man. She's pissed off." I'm like, "So am I 86 for good?" He's like, "Nah, I think you're just 86 for the night, man. Just take a night off, man. Take a night off and let it blow over." It's like, whatever. So I don't know if I'm going to be going back in there anytime soon. I'm not going to say I'm going to totally boycott the place. I might. It's the only bar in town, so that's unlikely that's going to happen. I'll probably go in there. I'm just not going to go in there as frequently. I mean, it kind of pisses me off. I spent easily $1,000 in there in the last 8 months that I've lived here, possibly even more. It's depressing if I keep track, so I know. So I don't know. It's just bullshit. Like, why am I going to give them money if they're going to treat me like that? If I was drunk and belligerent or did something, I could understand being 86. But being 86 because my friend's dog bit somebody who was warned not to pet,